The Navigator Timer GMT is an iconic and perhaps one of the most unique underrated timepieces introduced by SEIKO. It lives up to the innovative spirit and high manufacturing standards that Kentaro Hattori, SEIKO's founder, always lived by in his design philosophy. What made it so unique was its internal rotating 24-hour bezel mounted atop the actual time face. Unlike the initial Navigator introduced by SEIKO that had an external hand-rotated bezel, the 6117 had its internal bezel controlled from the crown. This historical watch was favored by pilots, aircraft engineers and business travelers of the era simply because of the ease of operation, durability, functionality and design. Initial production for the 6117 started in 1969 and ended in 1976. An astounding production run of 7 years. The Navi Timer, as it was affectionately called, was powered by a 61 series Suwa SEIKO Shaw automatic movement. Initial models were powered by the 6117A, while the later models were powered by the 6117B, which had a hacking feature for accuracy. Movement was not only robust, but also durable and accurate, working at a vibration rate of 21,600 beats per hour. It is a 17-jewel, self-winding movement where the natural motion of the user provides the energy to wind the mainspring. The dial is matte black featuring white rectangular loomed hour indices that glow green in the dark with clearly legible thin silver seconds markers in between. The silver hour and minute hands are narrow obelisk-type watch hands which are also luminous at their center. The seconds hand is plain silver while the GMT hand is in bright red and tipped with a triangle. The GMT hand is unique as it has an unnoticeable upward bend near the tip that elevates it toward the internal bezel. Located at the 3 o'clock position is a date window with a white background. All these elements pop out against the matte black dial. In stark contrast, the internal rotating 24-hour bezel is coated in gloss black and divided into 12-hour segments, with bright red denoting day and a royal blue denoting night. The bezel is numbered in military style colored in white or silver. The design of the internal bezel is just another additional element that totally creates contrast, if not being the center of attention in itself, in this unique and collectible SEIKO timepiece. The Navigator Timer is encased in a polished stainless steel Q-shaped case that measures 41 mm in diameter and 45 mm from lug to lug. The case back is screw-on type that is likewise polished to match the body. It is topped by an elevated acrylic crystal that allows room for the movement of the internal rotating bezel. When standard watch diameters of the era were at either 38 or 38.5 mm, the Navi Timer was quite big for its size at the time of its introduction at 41 mm. However, because of the Q shape, it tended to wrap comfortably around the wrist. The Navigator Timer was originally fit with the 20 mm JDM, Japan domestic market, railroad-type folded steel bracelet, giving the watch a seamless look. These bracelets tended to stretch with time though, and many were replaced with leather straps or aftermarket steel straps. It would be rare to find Navi timers with the original JDM railroad bracelets in pristine condition. All Navi timer cases are either marked J, Tenryu Industry, or F. Meaning, only 2 factories were involved in the production of the cases for the entire 7 years. On the dial, just above the 6 o'clock position, the watch name Navigator Timer will be in silver. Just below it in the same color will be a line that would change through the years and disappear later on. The initial 6117 Navi Timer models from late 1969 would bear the words Water 70M proof. This claim would appear on the dial on models distributed and sold in Japan until 1971. Due to strict legal rules on claims in the US and other international markets, in 1972, the mark would change to Water 70M Resist. These models would be marked 6117 6419 slated for the export market. Starting in 1974, the proof and resist marks would be history. These marks would disappear from the dials in both the Japanese and international markets until the end of the production run in 1976. Only the watch name would appear and the Suwa logo beneath it. All Navigator timers were manufactured by the Suwa SEIKO Shaw factory.
Many ask how they could find out when their Navigator timers were issued. Here is what I know which hopefully will help. 1. The Navi timer first appeared in the SEIKO catalogs in 1969. 2. The 61 series Suwa Seikosha 6117A and B were issued from 1968 to 1976. 3. Each Navi timer has a 6-digit serial number located in the case back. 4. The first number denotes the year of issue and the second number the month. 5. The last 4 numbers indicates its number in the total production for that month of that year. 6. Letters may appear as the second digit, either O, N, or D. O for October, N for November and D for December. So if your serial number is 9D0001, it means that the watch was made in the year 1969, in the month of December and is the first piece. If it is 690650, it means the watch was made in September of 1976, and is the 650th watch produced. The SEIKO Navigator timer was priced at $69.50 when it was first issued in 1969. Current prices may start at $400 upward of $1,000 depending on its condition, completeness, year of issue and state of repair and or disrepair. There are still many SEIKO Navigator timer watches in the market 50 years on. Some are pristine as the year they were bought, others marked with love showing its dedicated daily use. Again, it is a robust and classic timepiece with a long production run. I believe it certainly deserves a place in anyone's SEIKO or vintage watch collection.